and it is totally okay if you are not someone who wants to have a big wedding, because it's okay. Both choices are okay. I just feel like on either side you're on, big wedding, extravagant wedding or not, you're supposed to be focusing on what really matters. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. I am in my cozy bedroom, as you can see. One of my favorite places ever, especially with this lighting right here for filming videos is perfect. How are y'all doing today? Good? Great. Let's get right into this topic. So I know y'all can tell from the topic what this video is going to be about. Why we chose not to have a big wedding. First and foremost, let me just go ahead and start off by saying this. Everybody's love story is different. Everybody's life, relationship, how they feel is unique. Everybody is different. Everybody's story is different. So no, I'm not bashing anyone who likes to have big weddings, who wants to have a big wedding, who had a big wedding. And I feel like I have to say that because I know sometimes people will watch videos and they'll like think that you're bashing something just because you didn't go that route. I'm just sharing our reasons and our side. Okay, a obvious big one is expenses. It is super expensive. Like, this goes without saying. It is super expensive to have a big wedding. Financial burden. Because honestly, when you have things that you may want to do in your future, the place that we move to in the future, just things like that, there are a lot of things that come into play when you have to think about spending a lot of money on a huge wedding. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on one single day for you and your partner to come together as one. We just chose not to go that route. When I sit here and think about it, it is like adding up in my mind as I think about it, how much money it would cost for us to even have a wedding in the first place. I know for a fact, because I see it with my own eyes, some people have weddings solely for the purpose of trying to impress others. Like, they do all this extra stuff and you can just tell when they're doing things to try and impress someone. And when it's not as much about like them and their partner coming together, it's more about like trying to impress with the wedding dress, trying to impress with, you know, the reception, the decoration, just the whole, like the venue. Another big reason is honestly our personalities. We are not the type of people who would really handle a wedding that well because of our personalities. Like, we're both introverts, we're both quiet, we're both to ourselves. Yes, I get on camera and I will yap for hours, but that's because I'm comfortable behind the camera. But in real life, no, I could not do a wedding. I have said for years, whoever I marry is going to have to be like okay with us not having a wedding, because I cannot handle all that attention. I mean, that's just so many people staring at you. Tony is the exact same way. Like, it just doesn't fit our personality. A wedding requires you to be very social with your guests, do certain things that, you know, people like us are not going to feel comfortable with. And I honestly wouldn't want, you know, such a special moment to be kind of taken away because I'm so anxious and I have so much anxiety that I can't even focus on the special part because I'm so nervous. I would kind of forget about the moment a little bit because I would be so like shaking in my shoes about everybody looking at me, and I would probably end up having a panic attack. So that's just not gonna work. And like how people have receptions, I couldn't do that. I couldn't have a reception after my wedding because after the ceremony, I'm done. After we say I do, all the people at the ceremony would be hard enough for me to get through because all those eyes on you and you're just like standing up there. But a reception where you socialize and dance, my social battery would be drained before I could even make it to the reception time. So what's the point? We are not the type to really want to do all the theatrics and all the extra stuff. I am so happy I found someone who did not care to have a wedding either. I am with someone who is like me in a lot of ways. Okay, another reason is inviting people. Like, it would just end up being a bunch of people that we barely know, but we kind of distant know, and we felt like we just had to send them an invite. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes that's what happens at weddings. I kind of know them well enough to invite them, but not really, so I shouldn't send them an invite, but it might hurt their feelings if I don't. Thank goodness we don't even have to worry about all that. Watching us on our special day and a special moment, just watching us. That just doesn't feel like, I don't even have anyone that I would want to be, or that I could say could be my maid of honor or even a bridesmaid. Okay, the last big reason is because we care about how sacred it feels, because we don't just look at marriage as like a joke or like some little thing. It's a very big step in our life and we're doing it together, and we just want it to be like sacred and personal. And I'm not saying that if you have a big wedding, then your moment is not sacred and it's not special and it's not personal. I'm not saying that at all, but for us, it just would feel like I don't know, it would just take away something. It would be so hard for me to get past my nerves and my anxiety about like all the people there for me to really just lock in and 1000% focus on the moment. Having a lot of outside opinions and energies and people just coming into that just wouldn't be for me. So yeah, those are our reasons why we chose not to have a big wedding. If you're someone who is getting married, newly married, and you can relate to this, I feel you. Do not let anybody pressure you into feeling like you have to have a big wedding, like you have to have an expensive venue, a huge expensive ball gown dripped out in diamonds, like you have to have the biggest cake, you have to invite all these people, you have to pull up in a cool car, you have to do all this stuff, you have to have all these vendors. You don't have to do that. Because when you feel like that's what it takes to get married, you've lost the whole point of what you're married, like you've lost the whole point. The whole point is this. That's the point. Not all the theatrics and all this stuff, you know, people, I don't know. I try my best to always just, you know, not say certain things about how people want to do stuff or whatever, but who can come out to the coolest song, who can do this, who can have the coolest whatever. It turns into a competition. So-and-so's dress was like this at her wedding, but now it's my turn. Let me come out with a dress even better. I just can't relate. I just wanted to come on here and share that for anyone who can relate and who feels the same as we do, because you are not alone, and it is totally okay if you are not someone who wants to have a big wedding, because it's okay. Both choices are okay. I just feel like on either side you're on, big wedding, extravagant wedding, or not, you're supposed to be focusing on what really matters. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see y'all in my next upload.